Life in a world that keeps changing. Think that it's progress you're making. Copy and paste pretty faces all the time. Pictures so perfect we play.
Hello wonderful people, welcome back again to this YouTube channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet all of you according to una time. Yes, welcome back again to Anointed Lady TV. To all my returning subscribers, I appreciate you all for your massive support. Thank you very much for always supporting this platform. I say may God richly bless you all in Jesus' name. Amen. If it is your first time here, thank you very much for stopping by. You are highly welcome. Yes, my correct people, I urge you all to watch this video to the end so you know exactly what Buhari, fake Buhari, is talking about. Drop your opinion, what you think about the videos. Bye for now.
The government, although he is not in the federal government's party, but we want to secure Zamfara, Sokoto, and so on. And we mentioned Katsina and so on. But the important thing is the question of local security apparatus. We have police in every town. And I've been talking to the police, trying to push them as hard as I can. They don't wear uniform and sling their rifle just to intimidate people, but to make sure, if necessary, they use it to bring security. In the northeast, you know what was happening. In the south house, you know, I too was almost overwhelmed by what is happening in the northwest. But we are treating them as criminals now. They are experiencing a lot of casualties. They will not say it because they don't want to demoralize their recruitment constituencies. But they are suffering a lot of constituencies. But they are suffering a lot of casualties. We know that.
Mr. President, still on the issue of security.
Yes.
Each zone you would have witnessed has sort of taken matters into their own hands with different kind of security apparatus, like the civilian, JTF, Amotekun, and what have you. Has the time come to now formalize state police in Nigeria?
I have seen, or I have been reading it in the newspapers. Those of us who are old enough to know the old NA police and so on. That time, the traditional institutions leaders were very effective. In each community, you know, I will give you one example of recent. Two governors from the southwest came to tell me that the cattle rearers in some of the forests there have killed farmers while their cattle were eating on their crops. So I told them, you campaigned to be elected, and you are elected. He said, yes. I said, go back and sort out yourselves. Because there has been a system, as all of us here could recall, even your local government, when there are security at each level, at local government, at state, it consists the traditional leaders in that area who have been there for generations. So they know all the crooks in their local.
Mr. President, the 17 governors.
And those who come, whether they are cattle rearers or influential traders, they are part of it. They meet either. They will have intelligence. They will know what is happening in their constituencies. They just can't go around and win elections and then sit tight and think somebody will do their job for them. I just send them back.
Mr. President, the 17 governors in the southern part of the country recently called for restructuring. They also announced a ban on open grazing in the southern states. But despite that, the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SCN, said
Okay, what I did was ask them to go and dig the Gazette of First Republic. when people were obeying laws. There's cattle routes and grazing area. Cattle routes where you allow your cattle to stray into any farmer's farm, you are arrested. The farmer is invited to submit his claims. The alkali or the judge will say, oh, I pay. If you can't, the cattle is sold, and if there is any balance, you are given. And people are behaving themselves. And in the grazing areas, they built earth dams, put windmills, in some places even veterinary departments. Area is known. If there is any problem from the locality is known. But I'm telling you, this rushing to the center, you know, people just, I think. So I asked for the gazettes, you know, to make sure that those who encroached on these cattle routes and grazing areas will be dispossessed, you know, and try to bring some order back into the cattle areas. The problem is trying to understand the culture of the cattle rearers. There is a cultural distance between the Tips and the Fulanis. So the governor of Benue said, I'm not disciplining the cattle rearers because I'm one of them. I cannot refuse to say I'm not one of them, but he's been very unfair to me. And I told him that the Nigerian cattle rearer was not carrying anything more than a stick, sometimes with a machete to cut some trees and give it to anymore. But those sophisticated ones, they are good with AK-47. So from all the Sahel areas, people rush to Nigeria, you know, and Fulani from Mauritania or from Central Africa look the same. So they think they are Nigerian ones. And I assure you that we are trying to resuscitate these cattle routes, grazing areas, and make them accountable. And then this cancelling of taxes. Ordinary people like it. But the problem of accountability, you know, when taxes are being paid, people are behaving themselves. But now without taxation, people are doing what they like.
Yes, that brings us to the question of power devolution. All these taxations and this position now on devolution of powers.
Devolution of power, you have to define it.
It's the legislative list. Take some of the things to residual and keep a few.
Virtually, local governments are virtually killed. You know it.
Yes, sir.
The 3 tiers of government, federal, state, and local government, if they are being followed properly, we wouldn't have all these social problems. But the problem is the local governments have been virtually killed. And this is not good for this country. It's not good for this country because those who became the local government chairman have been compromised. If your local government is, say, entitled or is supposed to receive 300 million, a letter will be prepared for you to sign that you have received 300 million and you are given only 100 million.
So how can we reduce the powers of governors and give more powers to local governments? By writing a new constitution.
And reduce the powers of the president too.
While we're at it.
The Supreme President has a lot of power. Okay, I think this question of accountability is very important. The schooling, especially education, is suffering so much. If, for example, our generation, I spent 9 years in boarding school, and the teachers then treat us as they treat their own children. If you do well, you are brought before the classroom and praised. If you misbehave, they remove your thing and plug you there in front of the class. So you just have to behave yourself. But now, one of the chaps from Ogun State, Pastor Bakari, he told me when he came back from America, he went to his alma mater, and he couldn't differentiate between the teachers and the children there. You see, the teachers allow them to go around and see the problem. They had all the time, but now they are in charge. And we made sure that their priorities is to make sure they have brought normalcy, people to accept the responsibility of their offices and perform. They are working very hard on that. We cannot give it enough publicity because we don't want to give fair warning to the real criminals. The ones from Northeast, you know, the ones in the South, you know, the problem is Northwest. The same people, same culture, killing each other. As I said, we are going to treat them in the language they will understand. We have given the police and the military power to be ruthless. And you watch it. In a few weeks' time, there will be difference. Because we told them that if we keep people away from their farms, we are going to starve. And the government cannot control the public. If you allow hunger, you know, to permeate the whole society, the government will be in trouble, and we don't want to be in trouble. We are already in enough trouble. So we want them.
Yes, since you talked about talking to the people of Northeast. Now, yes, since you talked about talking to the people of Northeast in the language they understand. That is the whole, I mean, there's a crime, Ipob and all that. One, the controversy of Twitter. When is the government going to lift ban on Twitter?
To lift the ban. They would have no access to anywhere. And the way they are spread all over the country, having businesses, having property, I think Ipob doesn't know what they are talking about. In any case, and we will do it.
What about Twitter?
Twitter? That I will give to myself. What?
Still on the Southeast, Mr. President, how do you plan to include more people from the Southeast, and indeed the South in general, to include more people in the Southeast, and indeed the South in general, in your government, especially in security services and MDAs?
You look at, say, NNPC, look at the military. People who have been there for 18 years, or people who have been there, say, for 10 years, they trained in Zaria or in Abeokuta. You know, they come, served under all the circumstances, the crisis and everything, and they gradually rise to that status. And you think you just pick somebody just to balance up? These positions have to be earned. Those positions have to be earned. There are people who have been there for 10, 15 years. And you just because somebody will say, well, there's nobody. If you don't join, you are not forced to join. But when you join, you go through the rigmarole. You go through the problem throughout, and you learn by the system.
Yeah, but Your Excellency, in the case of the Chief of Army Staff, there are almost 30 generals who have to be retired now or whatever.
If you
leave the security services, I believe one of the things we're talking about is signaling and of belonging. Security. Beyond security, Southeast, they want to be secretary to government. They want to be other things. Like you said, you've chosen 2 or 3 of them, like Okadigo as VP, against them. So why don't you, as father of all, bring them more together, make them feel belonging against them? So why don't you, as father of all, bring them more together, make them feel belonging, make them feel like a children?
Our civil servant. If you get a list of our civil servant, if you think there are no, you can continue, and that is the best thing politically for the country and for the party.
So it's not as if, but to have all of that, people believe that once you join
In APC to move power from north and south.
APC,
But what party?
That your group is just option that the capital.
Should we allow the party to decide? I have just told him, no, you are very, very. And I gave fair to us. And they are going to give me this report by the end of the month on the convention we are going to conduct and then arrange the general elections, up to 2003, all the elections. And we will start this from bottom upward so that members of the party will feel they are involved in decision making. Nobody is just sitting here in Lagos and asking them what to do.